Okay, hey, how's it going, everyone? Today we're going to have a twofer. We're going to do shrimp scampi and we're going to do an alfredo sauce. Both, a lot of the, and I'm going to go over this in a video next week, but a lot of things have the same ingredients in them, and you can just change it up by the style that you cook it in. So here we're going to have the shrimp scampi over here. I've got some noodles boiling for the fettuccine alfredo, which will be in this. I've put a half stick of butter in each one of these. Get your pan nice and hot, not so much for the alfredo actually, but definitely for the shrimp. So what I do is I've got about a quarter of an onion here, and I've got some pre-cooked shrimp. Get this going. Now, really easy, basically shrimp, white wine, butter, and onions, a little bit of garlic. You're good to go. Again, fresh garlic's always better, but this stuff is just so easy. Boom. Also on the alfredo, I like to put a little bit of onion in mine and a little bit of garlic. Most people do not do that because it makes it a little bit chunky, but I kind of like it that way. But you know what? I'm going to teach you the traditional way. So I'm going to put those onions in with the shrimp scampi. That'll work out fine. Little white wine with that. And actually, I think I'm going to trade these. Maybe not. There we go. That's a little better. Okay. So we get the shrimp scampi going. Basically, pretty basic. Basic ingredients. It's not a hard thing to make. Neither one of these is hard. That's why I'm doing it. Okay, so for the alfredo sauce, got the butter. You're going to put a little flour in. Now this is called making a roux, and we went over this before. And what you're going to do is you're going to put a little butter in here, and you're going to thicken it up with that butter and that flour. There we go. That's okay, and what we'll start having, it'll start frothing up like this. This butter's a little bit overdone, but it's fine. And then you get kind of a weird consistency. So it comes out almost like a foam. What it should do is gum up like dough. But when I do that, I tend to, I think, go overboard on it a little bit. Add a little white wine. And then it's so easy, you know, people overcomplicate. Probably have to cook a little bit more. All you do, now, you can use milk and use the roux type of deal. The more, how can I put it? I use heavy whipping cream, okay? The less fat content your milk has, the more of the flour you're going to have to use to thicken it. That's just how it works. Excuse me. So it's really important to know what you're starting off with. Oh my God, I'm dying over here. Like I said, if you're starting off with 2%, don't make any kind of cream, anything with less, than 2%. Whole milk is probably way preferred. And of course, this is full-on cream. So then you can have about, I don't know, that's probably, what, 3/4 of a cup, half a cup, something like that, of Parmesan. And chances are I'm going to need a little bit more than that. I can just kind of tell by the way it's going that I'm probably going to need a little bit more. Yeah, definitely. And Alfredo sauce works really well when you. Alfredo sauce works really, really well. You can actually freeze it or refrigerate it for sure. You can freeze it. It works pretty well. A lot of times people think it doesn't because when they go to an Italian restaurant and then they microwave it the next day, it turns into like an oily mush. And that is kind of true. It just turns into oil. It doesn't do that if you make it homemade. So just a little FYI there. Little Italian seasoning. Got like thyme and rosemary, oregano, basil. I throw in a little extra basil. That's a little too much, but that's okay. Pepper. Probably doesn't need any salt, but just a pinch. Now these were cooked shrimp that I used, so it's really quick. If you're using non-cooked shrimp, raw shrimp, you can you basically just cook them until they're opaque. As soon as they're opaque, they're ready to go. When they're not clear, you're rocking. Okay. So, shrimp scampi, easy as can be. I'll take you out of your little harness. Whammo. Easy peasy. Took like what? 2 minutes? Literally on like half a burner. So, done with that. The Alfredo needs a little more cheese. And you can tell it hasn't quite set up yet. Still a little watery. You can kind of see that where it's being pushed with a little too much ease. Now, of course, you can just cook it down a little bit more, but I can kind of guess that this needs a little more. That's pretty good. Actually, that's pretty darn good. I think all we need there is a little salt, a little pepper, I think we're good. Now, one of the things also when you're making your Alfredo sauce, Parmesan like this does work a lot better. It melts so much better than like the Kraft type of Parmesan cheese stuff. But with that being said, if that's all you have, don't feel like you have to go out and buy this, thing to do your sauce, because you really don't. That stuff totally works in a pinch, and I use it all the time. So you kind of got to do what you need to do. Where's my grater? All right. Well, never mind. Oh, there we go. Okay. Sorry about that little disorganization, because I'm actually doing this at night when I'm actually cooking for the family. So I'll put in probably another quarter cup, maybe. And of course, this stuff comes out real fluffy, so that's not like a quarter cup, or you know what I mean, like a cup total, like pressed down. That's this is really fluffy stuff. There we go. That's what I like to see. Now, the consistency, I think, should be a very thin, like a very thin pancake batter. It should be able to waft around like that. See how it's almost like foamy right there? That, you're golden. Now, The traditional, if you want to get like the hardcore, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to crack an egg in this sucker when it's like the perfect temperature, not enough to cook the egg, you know, but just enough to get it emulsified in the thing to give it that really great consistency. I don't have the skill to do it, or at least I've never wanted to. I've just been nervous about it, so I've never done it in my whole life. But you can do that, and it turns out really well. And I encourage you to do that, and please send me a message of how it turned out if you go that route and you're that ballsy. There you go. 2 for 1 today. Hope you have a great night. Be good humans.